Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a great afternoon. I just want to talk today about the Vamp cryptocurrency. Now, my first thoughts on this cryptocurrency was that I really didn't have any desire to get involved in it. I'm not particularly saying this, but it would seem that the sentiment about Vamp was that it kind of felt like a bait and switch in a sense where, we were all going into the Zen cryptocurrency. We thought everything would be built around Zen. And then Vamp kind of comes on the scene, performing well, I might add, but not really a beneficiary tool for the people who were in Zen, right? And I kind of felt that way. But then I kind of said, well, my project has a similar idea, and I didn't want to feel like a hypocrite about it. We do have something called the Bitcoin NYK native token that kind of functions as gold, alone-ish. It's very rare. But I think the difference with the Bitcoin NYK, our native project, was that people still did benefit from it in that about 10% of its value went into our Bitcoin NYK inflation cryptocurrency, which is similar to Zen, right? How it functions as such. And in addition to that, our main cryptocurrency that was free, to Bitcoin NYK inflation token, did serve as the bridge cryptocurrency. So in other words, you could use it that you got free to pay bridge fees to send your coin to other chains, right? And nothing like this occurs with Vamp token in the Zen project. But what I will say about Vamp that I find interesting and that might work is that it is part of the Bitcoin chain. And you got to remember, it's a lot of money on Bitcoin. It's a lot of people who are going to be interested in Bitcoin-like products, right? They're going to feel more secure with the Bitcoin-like products as such. And it might just be an area that a lot of value can still sweep into, right? Billions of dollars can go into these ordinals as such. So Vamp's on there. Vamp was several weeks ago on like 7 cents. It's already up to 15 cents. And in addition to that, the Vamp cryptocurrency, I believe it will be around the 4th of July or sometimes in July early. It's going to be available on Ethereum as well. So you're going to, so it's going to have that access to be traded on the two of the biggest chains, the most valuable chains out there, right? Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I don't think that's, small fry, so to speak. I think that puts a lot of potential in Vamp. Now, I still Team 100 on Vamp, and it's all based on principle, nothing to do with making money, right? I've just kind of made this stand in cryptocurrency myself. To make crypto better, there are certain things that I'm now just going to determine unacceptable and not participate in them, whether I can make money on them or not, because sometimes you got to draw the line somewhere, right? So that's where my stance was. But the thing about Vamp is it's just elements that are similar to my project. And whereas Bitcoin NYK, you can still earn it just by mining it, right? Anybody can. It's unlike the inflation token, which is a lot easier process to get, right? And all these things are free. But will I expose myself to some Vamp? It's a big possibility I might. I've kind of changed my mind on it. It's a big possibility I might, but keeping these conditions part of it, I probably only use it to take advantage of short-term gains, meaning after July, right? I'm expecting probably Vamp to have some gains. These are just my thoughts and opinions. And I might take advantage of those short-term gains, right? Am I going to stand Vamp? Probably not. I just principally don't like it. But if it was a little bit more, now the story from the Zen camp is that, the Jack Levin camp is that through the 6 degrees of separation down the line, somehow Vamp's success will spread over to Zen. I don't quite understand how. I don't hear the specifics in that, but that is the thought process on it, that it's successful, and maybe it will trickle down some point. It's just that I don't know where that line is and where that point is, right? If you guys know, maybe you can enlighten me a bit on it. I might be a little bit more enthusiastic about the Vamp cryptocurrency. right? In the meantime, in the interim, yeah, Zen is going to suffer because the opportunities that I believe should exist in Zen with the building up of the Vamp project, it should have been Zen's success specifically, but it wasn't. We've done everything we can at Bitcoin MYK to make all our cryptocurrencies share in the success of another one, right? And so that's all I got to say about Vamp. It's very likely I will expose myself to Vamp in these short-term gains that I think will occur over the next week or so. Not telling you guys you should do that, but I probably will. Let's move on to Bitcoin NYK a little bit because I think it's important because it's similar to Zen. But I also want to talk about how I believe it's going to reach like 2 billion users and the reasons why. All right, back here on Bitcoin MYK, and people are still joining and lining up every day. I think I remember this user, Ellie from back in the day. Glad to see her back here on Bitcoin NYK. It has been a journey, folks. But is that Shia LaBeouf? I'm not sure. But let's talk about why Bitcoin NYK is going to reach 2 billion users or more. It's going to probably end up being the biggest cryptocurrency in history. And I'm going to explain to you why. So the reason I got excited about the Zen cryptocurrency so much is because I thought it understood, I really thought it understood how freemium services work and the direction I felt cryptocurrency had to go into, right, to get those type of numbers on cryptocurrency, to establish a stable cryptocurrency that brings economic prosperity to the world. Now, I do believe the Zen community has the right intentions, but I think they're still kind of stuck in the old avant-garde of cryptocurrency, and that is running cryptocurrency projects as businesses, right? Using very basic economic thought processes, right? And I just think cryptocurrency has evolved so far beyond that. So when we talk about projects like Bitcoin MYK and we talk about free, we mean all the way free. This isn't pseudo free. This isn't kind of free. This isn't blockchain over the top fees, right? These are this is a product that runs on blockchain. You literally are getting the full advantage of cryptocurrency projects, right? And that is through moving them cross-border anywhere in the world, absolutely free, right? The advantages of that, right? So in other words, if you're doing a bank wire transfer, whatever it is you're doing to get money to and fro, whether you're moving millions or billions of dollars, right? Typically what happens is you got to pay these high fees and such, right? Western Union, you got to pay, I don't know, it might be 10% of $100 or whatever it is, right? All these money payments systems for doing remittance payments across the globe, whatever it is, right? It's high. Now, what happens is in currency, when we're doing the same thing, we're not allowing for economic prosperity to set through, right? So the blockchains that we're using, so in other words, if you tried to do it with Zen on Ethereum, right, it would be terrible to do something like that. And many of these other chains, right, or it wouldn't have the security as such, right? So, but in being able to straddle blockchains that are very high secure, Bitcoin Cash, the high blockchain that can allow us to do this, send transactions almost 100% free or very close to free, and the high blockchain, the ability to use these credits as such, these resource credits, is regenerated every 24 hours, and it's done so in a way that most people won't exhaust those resources within 24 hours. So what it basically ends up being is you can just send money anywhere in the world. Think about the power of that. With our inflation cryptocurrencies, which is very stable at this point, right? The price is just kind of, sitting there, and we're allowing it to be distributed amongst the world as such. We're talking about actual free. We're not talking about pseudo free, right? Which is what I think we get with Zen. We get this version of pseudo free. So what I'm saying is it's almost inevitable that we could see this project reaching billions of users. And not only that, that the people, the interfaces are so easy to use, anybody can use them. And those have been the two major problems in cryptocurrency. The first problem being how it is to get on, use this stuff, use a wallet, right? The second being the cost. How much is going to cost me to make this transaction? Because if it's going to cost me too much, uh, it's no better than me using my standard economy, my standard currency. In fact, it's probably cheaper to do that. So, and then you get this practical use beyond just speculation, right? So that's where Bitcoin and YK is leading to, and I think it's going to get there. This is a project that's a journey. It's an experiment. It is one sought to solve problems in automation and poverty and such. And so it is the idea and the hope and the dream many people have had before us. Whether it be people like Dr. Martin Luther King, Milton Friedman, Thomas Paine, greatest figures in history, have had this. And Bitcoin NYK is the first project to really embrace it and look at the problems that a project like this would encounter and be able to deal with it effectively. And not just like how I've seen other projects, how they kind of deal with stuff. They don't really care. They put stuff out there and they don't really execute it as such. I think Bitcoin NYK, several independent polls, has tested to be the best basic income cryptocurrency, universal basic income, citizens dividend, whatever you want to call it, which are freedom dividend, whichever word works best for you. But of all of them, it's tests the best out of all of them. And, that's a fact. And we are willing to put that up against, anybody, right? But I think that's all I want to say in this video, guys. Don't forget to join Bitcoin NYK today. The link will be in the description of this video. And like always, till next time, take care of yourselves and each other.